All right. It's that time again, everybody. Welcome back to Lightning Speed Racing. Today, we are here racing around the Shanghai International Circuit. This is the very first LSR Chinese Grand Prix. So, we are racing around this magnificent circuit today for round 3 of the Group 1 Championship. We're back racing in the top division of LSR for the first time ever, like I already mentioned, around this magnificent circuit in Shanghai. It's got 16 turns to make up a circuit length of 5.4 kilometers. That is 3.3 miles long. There's also 2 DRS zones to help encourage overtaking for around here, one down the pit straight and one in between turn 13 and turn 14, which is arguably the longest straight on the Formula 1 calendar. So let's get into the racing today. You join us with about 15 minutes remaining of this qualifying session, a full grid as well for round 3 of the championship. Welcome everybody. If you are new to LSR, make sure to subscribe and click the like button as well if you're interested in seeing more content on the league. So in the comms booth today, it is myself, Formula Jonah, league owner and founder of LSR, and joining me in the commentary booth is my good friend James44. Welcome, Aston Martin teammate from Group 2. How are you feeling about this race coming into China? The first time LSR has raced around the Shanghai International Circuit. Just give us all your thoughts.
Well, firstly, hello everyone. It's exciting to be here for the very first time on this track, because this track can be a bit of a pain, but it can be quite fun at the same time. So we'll have to see how the drivers adapt to this new track for the first time ever, as Solheim is the quickest on track at the moment.
Yeah, the Aston Martin going fastest with a 1:32.6, so very competitive lap time from the Aston Martin driver. But yeah, James, good to have you here in the commentary booth once again, commentating on the Chinese Grand Prix, third round of the season, of course, here in LSR. Everybody watching those, Bickle getting on the curb a little bit too much there, but it's all good. He's still in the top 5, a 1:33.2, very competitive time from the Mercedes. Kevin Cowell in the AlphaTauri is now 7th as Tom goes faster into P4 for the Mercedes team. Now, I want to quickly mention a few things, because there is some driver changes here on LSR for round 3. Kevin Cowell, Group 2 Mercedes driver, stays in Group 2, but does move up to Group 1. We feel he's got the pace to be able to race in both groups simultaneously, so he's going to try and race full-time. A Speed Queen goes fastest overall by a 1/10 of a second, so very competitive lap time from the Alfa Romeo driver. But yeah, Kevin Cowell, great to see him full-time on the grid for Group 1, and we'll see how that works out for him through the rest of the Group 1 season. There's also 2 new drivers on the grid, or 2 new drivers to full-time in Group 1. They are actually not on the grid today, but they promised me they'll be back for round 4, and that is Joffrey and Albrecht. So Albrecht is a race winner in Group 3. He's been very competitive. I think he also got on the podium last time out in Group 2. And now he joins Group 1 with Haas. So full-time Haas driver with Beatum. And then Joffrey joins Aston Martin. So a very competitive lineup there, and excited to see what they can do in their respective teams. So we have 11 drivers that have set times. What are we thinking for this qualifying session, James? Like you mentioned, this is a difficult track, but sometimes can be an interesting race, of course, and qualifying session at that. But what's your thoughts for this upcoming event? Who do you think is going to get pole position? And just talk us through your thoughts.
Well, currently watching everyone do their laps, and Sector 3 is going to be quite interesting towards the end, because everyone's just going to be on that main straight all together, because like you've said, it is arguably one of the fastest, no, not fastest, well, is it one of the longest straights on the calendar.
Yeah, I believe it is.
It's interesting to see how everyone works their way around that, because we've seen a few people getting out of the way of Severflare's lap time. But it could be interesting to see as Forzan getting very wobbly in Sector 2.
Yeah, he almost lost control of his McLaren. The Bahrain Grand Prix winner is... Oh, he loses the car a little bit on the exit as well. And he does eventually spin around. Ooh.
I don't think he's comfortable with that car today. Ooh. And unless he's got very warm tyres, and he's gone again.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with CPI Forzan. Hopefully he's able to find some pace later on into the session. Maybe he even picked the wrong setup. I hope he didn't, but we will see. We are riding on board with SSL Mango, the Ferrari driver who got, I believe, second place last time out in Bahrain, if I look at my statistics there, as the Ferrari powers down the back straight, down into the heavy hairpin of turn 14. Let's see what he can do as he approaches the final corner of the track, getting very late on the shifting there, staying in fourth gear for quite some time as he exits the final corner onto the curb a little bit. SSL Mango to the line, and it is a fastest time of a 132.1, a very competitive lap time from the Scuderia Ferrari driver.
That's quite incredible. I know he's been practicing this track quite a bit. Some of the drivers, not so much, like Seventh, who is third place, so it should be close with these drivers, hopefully, but Mango currently setting the benchmarker.
Yeah, very competitive lap time from SSL Mango there. Really showing that he's been practicing this track, as you mentioned. So great to see. I think... oh, really?
Sector 1, though. So we'll go on board. Go with him through sector 2 and into sector 3. Well, coming up.
Yeah. Let's see what he can do. He's been very quick in LSR for Group 1. Of course, two-time champion in Group 1. Joins the Haas team. He does need a good result here. It hasn't been a great first two races for him. Qualifying has gone really well, but it seems the races didn't go quite well. He's going to try and get the slipstream from the car ahead. I don't believe he's going to be able to. That car has to get out of the way, though. So B-Tom can go, and he eventually does. So good news for B-Tom as he comes through turn 14. And James, why don't you finish out the lap?
Oh, coming up to the final corner, turn 15, he's just gonna go over the curb and just stay inside the track limits, because those curbs can be a pain in the arse sometimes if you get over them. Because last time I played this, well, had a go on this track, and Tommy, what's happened there?
Believe he's retired in the pit lane. I saw in chat that there was something going on with like his wheel malfunctioning or something like that. I have to look back and see exactly what happened.
I think he retired on track because there was a yellow flag there. I don't know.
Oh, I just got confirmation in chat. So he said I'm going to quote him here. He said, "I have to retire from quali to let my base cool down for the race." So maybe his wheel was malfunctioning a little bit and he's letting the wheel cool down for the upcoming race, which is understandable, I guess.
That would explain that reason then. Bit of an odd one, but someone's spun it, and Forzan again. And your boring has crashed out.
Ooh, not good.
Well. Out of I don't know what corner where that is, where the Ferrari is.
I believe that is turn 8 and 9, about the section in between there. And it's understandable why he would crash there because of the entrance in the corner. You can spin on that curb on the entrance of 8. And that really does affect your lap and can affect spinning as well. But Aston Martin and McLaren, not a great session so far for them. Of course, position, I'm not talking about position, I'm talking about the spins. Forzan down in P20, not looking good for him right now, and Boring out of the session. And then we had Tommy out because of the malfunctioning wheel, it seems, and Sohype's just had a spin. Hopefully it turns around for them, though, because I want to see both of these teams do well, as they've already got... Actually, now that I think about it, Aston Martin and McLaren are the only two teams to actually grab wins during the season. Sohype's grabbing the win at USA, and Forzan grabbing the win last time out in Bahrain. So hopefully this turns around for them, and they'll be able to challenge for the win here in China.
Fingers crossed. Let's not commentators curse this now.
For sure, yeah. I think it will be interesting to see, though, what happens. And I don't want a commentator's curse, so we'll see how that all works out. Very competitive lap time. Oh, go ahead.
Both Ferraris are 1-2 right now.
You read my mind. That's exactly what I was about to say. Spin Swords, P2. What a lap from him.
Yeah, that's come out of the raid. Well, been like under the rug or something like there. But Ferrari 1-2, they're both looking very strong with Mango leading this. So hopefully they even may get the first 1-2 of the season.
It's possible, and viewers, just to let you know, Spin Swords is reserved for Ferrari, so it's not going to be like all Ferrari domination kind of thing. We try and make these teams very equal, so everybody has a shot at Constructors' Championships and all that sort of thing. However, I was talking with Spin Swords a while ago, and he did mention that he might be interested in a full-time drive, so who knows? We could see him full-time on the grid at another team. As CPI Forzan jumps into the top 3, great to see him up there as he goes with a 132.3, and does set a time at minute 5.
Was he joking about the spins then? Because that lap came out of nowhere with the way that car was reacting. Mango currently going 2/10 almost up on his lap time in the middle sector.
Interesting. That is quite fascinating. Sorry, I was also responding to Tommy at the time. He was saying he might leave the session and come back. And also, I saw a comment coming in saying, is formation lap on broadcast? And just to answer that real quickly, it is off. For all 3 divisions, it is off because of glitches. Last time on Bahrain, we have a few glitches, and we've made some significant changes to the Group 1 grid as SSL Mango improves and goes into the 131s. Very competitive lap time there.
I don't know how someone could get into that lap time, but Mango has done it. So he's raised that benchmark even more.
Well, I mean, this is Group 1. This is the fastest tier in LSR. And this is what's showing, is the drivers are showing that they have some pace to go into the 131s, it seems. So very competitive lap time from SSL Mango for sure. So we'll see how that works out. Also, I want to keep an eye on the back of the grid as well. The Red Bull's not really having a good qualifying session, wouldn't you say?
Oh, I've only just noticed that. I've been looking at the top of the grid, seeing how everyone's doing, but Red Bull not having the greatest, I would presume. Hopefully they can get out once more time and set a good enough lap time. But at the moment, they are within a second. Well, I want to say around a second to pole position. So it's not a huge gap. So we'll have to see if they can increase it by a 10th or 2, and that will literally bump them up to about 10th or higher.
We will definitely see if they're going to be able to improve. Sitting down on 14th and 15th, so definitely need a good time. Several flares coming around the final corner now. I want to see what he can do. I think he's about to start his lap, so let's take an onboard with the Alpine drivers. He comes down the pit straight, and it's an uphill incline for turn 1, a very difficult corner, and the speeds you're going to be carrying is around 190 miles per hour up the hill, and a spiral section, I like to call this, as it is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are the corner names for this. Now, around turn 4, traction zone as well. Turn 5, barely even a corner. You're flat out through here to come down into turn 6. This is where Daniel Ricciardo sent it on Valtteri Bottas back in 2018. Ricciardo eventually coming home for the win in that Chinese Grand Prix. Flare comes through the long left, then right traction zone as well, as you want to make sure you stay in a high gear. The Haas eventually does get out of the way, so that's good for Flare. As he comes through 9 and 10 now, a very tricky double left-hander, and you want to make sure not to get on the curbs too much. You can spin the car very easily. Onto a little bit of a straight, you want to brake around the 100 to 50 meter braking boards there as he comes down into, I believe, turn 11 and turn 12. Round the long right-hander. This is the trickiest traction zone on the track. He's got to watch out for back markers. They should get out of the way as he comes down the long straight, powering to around 215 miles per hour. Of course, that depends on your setup. So this should be around 205 for Flare with his current setup he has on. Down into turn 14, the heaviest braking zone on the track, and you want to make sure you shift early so you can get the better exit out of 14 onto a little bit of straight into 15 and 16. Final 2 corners, and Flare is just going to exit from 16 to the line. Currently P6, goes P3 with a 132.1, just a few 100ths of a second behind Sohites, but a very competitive lap time. Flare is in the top 5.
A very, very nice lap from Severfer there. So that will be his final chance as the time has gone down to a minute now. So anyone out on their laps now better get it done. Spin is on his lap, so we'll have to see what the sister car can do.
Yeah,
As
I
I
am
think pretty much
curious.
everyone is out on track now.
Yeah, I believe so. While we're watching the top five, I want to keep an eye as well on the back of the grid as well. Red Bull and Williams need good lap times. Both teams, same with AlphaTauri. Kevin Cal in the pit lane, unfortunately, so unfortunate to see that he... Oh, Sohypes does retire from the session. He believes that time is where he's going to be. And we will see if he maintains the position. But anyone you're seeing on track that is setting any purple sectors or any good times at the particular moment, James?
I'm watching the Red Bull of NYR at the moment. He's about 7 thousandths up on his time. He has the McLaren chasing him down, though. But I don't think the McLaren knows he's on a quicker lap.
I
But
believe that...
I have to see what NYR can do. Vacant as well, up on his time. So both Red Bulls up 1/10. So
That's good for Red Bull. Hopefully they will be able to improve on their times. Also, Xiaomi has improved to 17th, so puts it into P17 for the Williams
Dickie's
team.
on P3.
Ooh, good lap time.
132. NYR is coming around the final corner now with Forzan behind him. NYR is going to come to the line, stays P15. Vacant coming down to turn 14 now. Where will he come out of?
And Speed Queen as well. Speed Queen, she's coming to the line for Alfa Romeo. Let's see what she can do. P7 it is going to be for the Alfa Romeo driver, as I believe...
Vacant 4/10 up and goes P10.
Ooh, competitive lap time there from the Red Bull driver. B-Tom is up by around 1/10 of a second on his time, so he may be able to improve, but I don't know on a position. So the Group 1 Season 3 champion is actually going to come into the pit lane, so he will start P8 at best.
TCR kind of was in a weird, awkward position on the grass, but he is coming in for his final time.
Oh, I think that pretty much completes everything. I think that does it with SSL Mingo, the only driver into the 131s, but a very competitive lap time from the Ferrari driver. He takes, I believe, his second pole of the LSR season.
Yeah, very, very good lap. Quickest. I don't even know how you can manage to get that lap time, but well done to Mango there.
And look at this grid as well. It is very competitive. It is going to be an amazing race, I'm sure of it, here in China. We got to hope that there's no turn one crashes. And remember, viewers, we have no formation lap on, so straight into this race. Broadcast has been turned off due to glitches, so please remember, safety car, or not safety car, sorry, formation lap begins, oh my goodness, I cannot speak. The race begins, no formation lap. That's it. That's that. So hopefully we get a good one. Turn one, make sure the drivers need to make sure that they are very, very careful through this one. It is something that we need to work on throughout the whole season as drivers staying consistent, not going for any late lunges or anything like that. They got to keep it cool, relaxed, and all that sort of thing as they head into this. Races aren't won on lap one. That is the key here. They are won with consistency, reliability, and not really reliability in this case, but you get what I'm saying. But yeah, consistency is key. So, race starts in 22 seconds. James, do you have anything else to say before we get this race underway?
Let's have a good first race here in China, and let's hope the excitement carries on through the whole race, because I am excited.
Oh, it's sure to be an exciting race. Let's see how this goes. We are here for round 3 of the Chinese Grand Prix, the first time ever here in China. Welcome, welcome everybody. Drivers, good luck. Let's have a good one. I'm a little nervous for this one just because who knows what can happen. I think we're about to get underway in just a few seconds time. It's sure to be an exciting race. SSL Mango on pole position for Scuderia Ferrari. The rest all lining up behind him, and we will see who leads down into turn one, or actually, now that I mention it, up into turn one, as it is an incline instead of a decline. So here we go, 8 seconds to go. It is a very, very intense moment for all these drivers. Let's have a good one here in China. Alrighty, here we go. The lights are about to go out, and the racing is about to begin here in LSR at China. It's lights out, and away we go for the Shanghai International Grand Prix. SSL Mango gets a pretty good start, so does Soheips in the Aston Martin. SSL Mango does lead us away, though. A lot of cars are side by side there, and it is Forzan and B-Tom. A little bit of contact there, as B-Tom is round, unfortunately. I believe Forzan and him did make contact, but a pretty clean start, actually, for the rest of the grid. Pretty good so far. 3 wide moment for the Alphas and the McLarens. B-Tom is down to 20th. Hopefully, he'll be able to recover in the race. We see Tom and CPI Forzan side by side as the McLaren's trying to go around the outside of the Mercedes car. There's an Alpine and a Mercedes side by side as well. I think Forzan is just going to have to back off of this one. Actually, no, he's not. He's going to get past. The McLaren is up in the 7th position now. Very good move from Forzan, but it is SSL Mango that leads the way off of a pretty clean start to the Chinese Grand Prix, although there was contact with B-Tom and Forzan.
Yeah, very nice start for everyone. Unfortunate for B-Tom. Mercedes, Ickle-Bickle, and there's a crash at the back with Waitsy spinning off and losing his front wing.
Ooh, not good for Waitsy. He'll have to come into the pit lane. There's another car off the track. I think that is Tom, as Ickle-Bickle's lost the place to CPI Forzan, unfortunately. However, he's coming back at him. It's a 3-way battle for 4th position at the current moment. Look how close this is. It's almost 3 wide. Ickle's going to actually go to the other side of the track. Smart decision from the Mercedes, although there's not a lot of space. Forzan, and they're actually 3 wide down to turn 14. A little bit of contact that was not going to work out, but I think it's okay. Surprisingly, it's okay. Ickle and Forzan still side by side. They keep it clean. Forzan's a little off the track, but it's all good there. Ickle, and now Vacant Haddock and the Red Bull is now involved in this battle for 5th. This is incredibly intense. Ickle's looking for the move, but has to back out. Vacant goes wide. Speed Queen is now involved in this as well, as Ickle slots into 6th position. Vacant still challenging him, but he's going to have to lose out to the Mercedes driver as Ickle stays into P6. Very incredible racing here, as Vacant gets a little bit too much on the throttle. Speed Queen is now looking to make that overtake on the Red Bull driver. She's going to go around the outside of Vacant. Vacant maybe trying to take that position back, but he cannot. He's going to have to concede to Speed Queen, who now is into P7 for the Alfa Romeo team. Vacant go a little wide there, and Bourne might be able to catch up to the Red Bull, but I think it is all good there and about.
Some very good racing from these lot up at the front of the pack. But at the back of the pack, B-Tom, P17, he's going to have to work his way through. He's already making up a few places, but his teammate is kind of holding up Viprise, as Viprise is trying to look for a move on the Haas, but just can't make it happen just yet. The Haas driver getting very loose on the exit of that kind of banked corner, but losing out of position, but Viprise gains P15 for now.
And meanwhile, Vacant Haddock and Boring side by side into 14. Ooh, a little bit of a contact there between the two drivers. I think they're okay, though. Kevin Cow is now looking to get in this battle as well in the AlphaTauri car. He's actually going to switch to the other side of the track, trying to get the better line out of turn 16. Let's see if he's going to make that overtake on Vacant Haddock. Remember, he is on the medium compound tire, so he should have a little bit more grip than the rest of the pack. So we'll see how that works out for them. You mentioned B-Tom. Unfortunately, down in P16, he's making his way through the field. He's now overtaking Viperize, the Haas driver, up into 15th now. So good move from B-Tom.
Yeah. So that. Yeah, I don't think. I think Viperize knows that B-Tom is not his fight today, as he is. I think it'll be the quicker driver against him at the moment. So I'd love to see what Viperize can do from P16. If he can just stay with B-Tom, get the DRS, he could have an alright race staying behind him.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, completely agree with you on that. Hopefully, we will see how it goes, and hopefully it'll be a good one for that driver. As Xiaomi looking to make the overtake on Kevin Cal. I was a little afraid that he was going to hit the back. He was braking a little later there, but it's all good. He did not. It was just me. As the Williams now trying to get into the top 10. Williams not in a point scoring position at the current moment. We're actually watching from the back wing as we see the Aston Martin of Tommy coming through the field. Meanwhile, CPI Forzan is making a move on the Ferrari of Spin Swords. CPI Forzan is up into 4th position now. 3 seconds away is the top 3, so he'll have to chase after them as he moves in to a clear track ahead. Speed Queen and Ickle Bickle also having a battle here. Let's see how the two drivers do, as Speed Queen has the DRS but cannot make the move on Ickle for the time being. Ickle goes a little bit wide. Can Speed Queen look for the move to the inside? No, she cannot. There's not enough space for the Alfa Romeo to make the move on this current position, but she'll have an opportunity, of course, down to turn 16 as DRS is now enabled.
Yeah, this is going to be quite interesting because this battle for, I want to say P9, all the way down to about P16. So this train of cars is going to be hard for the drivers because everyone's going to have DRS against each other. So it's going to be all about that middle section where there isn't DRS and where they can gain that time to the car in front.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, this is going to be really difficult for these drivers. Like you mentioned, a DRS train forming for the most of them, and it definitely is going to be impacting their race. So they're going to have to find an awkward spot to make an overtake. And what I mean by that is they're probably going to have to find a corner that drivers don't really make overtakes at to be able to make a move. I'm also watching the battle for P1 forming. Sohype, Sevoflare, and SSL Mango in this battle. CPI Forzan is taking out time, though, so we could see a 4-way fight for P1 in this race, which would be absolutely incredible. Group 1 drivers, I want to say something real quickly. This is what I want to see in racing. I want to see you guys going at it. I want to see the best of the best going at it, and you have proved that you can do that for this race. Honestly, through the last 2 races, I was a little bit skeptical of how this grid was going to take place just because there was a few incidents. However, you guys have turned it around really well, and I see some really great things for the future of this tier. So just wanted to say, keep up the good work. You're doing a great job, and yeah. Do what you do best, and that's drive. So, SSL Mango leads us away by around 1.3 seconds to Sohypes in the Aston Martin. Sevoflare in P3 for the Alpine. James, we're here on lap 5, and I want to ask you a very important question. Tires. What is your thoughts on strategy right now?
Right now, it's gonna... the hard tires are warming up, and I think they'll start getting better and better every lap, but the mediums... they are a lot better overall for a few laps until about lap 10, 15. So we'll have to see what everyone does. Because everyone's on different tyres. I don't think anyone's on the soft compound tyres. So that is perfect for them. And there's quite a mix of hards and mediums in this train right now. So it's going to be interesting to see how it unfolds. As I think Vacant is getting ready to make a move on New Boring now. He's on the outside. He's going to send it into turn 14. It's gotten too deep. As we have a crash at the back with Tommy.
Boring and Vacant are side by side as well. They continue their battle. Meanwhile, Xiaomi and Tommy holding up the rest of the field, but they're still side by side. A lot of actions in the mid pack right now. As I think Yaborin will stay in P9. Kevin Cal in that fight as well. Xiaomi and Tommy still side by side. Let's see how this goes. The Aston Martin trying to go around the outside of Xiaomi. Into turn 4 we come. Xiaomi's just going to go ahead, I believe. Tommy has the inside line, though, so they're still going to be side by side. Tommy just has to back out. Let's see. On board with the Aston Martin. Coming down to turn 6. He's going for the Daniel Ricciardo move. The Aston Martin is making that overtake. He's just going to be side by side with Xiaomi. They've been side by side pretty much all lap. Let's see. Into the long left-hander. They're still side by side. This is awesome racing. Tommy and Xiaomi still side by side. A little bit of wheel baiting there, but I think it's all good. Tommy will get ahead. Yes, this is what I want to see, drivers. This is what I want to see. The racing is absolutely epic. Tommy gets ahead of Xiaomi on the, 10th corner of the track, and they're still side by side all the way to that point. And meanwhile, we have more action. Vacant Haddock. What happened there to the Red Bull?
Vacant. I think there was contact between your Boeing and Vacant, but Vacant getting very loose and losing out two places. So he is getting back at the car ahead. Tommy's looking to make a dive bomb. He doesn't do it just yet. He is in the Red Bull, so it's a perfect track to do a Daniel Ricciardo dive bomb.
Absolutely, yeah, it definitely seemed to work out for him as well. Meanwhile, we have a lot of overtakes in the front of the field and the back of the field. I'll quickly update you guys. Seville Flair has got past So Hypes, and the Alpine moves into second position. I think there's also a battle for, P6 at the time, and then this awesome midfield pack battle right now. Acid Masters, TCR F1 Racer also side by side. There's an Alpine in that battle. Viperize is in the fight for 14th. B-Tom got ahead, and he's making his way through the field. And I also want to mention Vacant Haddock. Vacant, I think what's going on with Vacant is that he's a little bit too loose on the back end. It seems that he doesn't have a lot of downforce on the back of the car there, and that's preventing him from being able to take corners a little bit more normally compared to the other drivers. You know what I mean, James? Like, you think that Vacant's maybe struggling with a loss in grip on the back end of the car? I'm thinking not a lot of downforce on that section.
It could be that he could have gone for more straight line speed, because we do have that really, there's two long straights, so that might be his setup. But it's interesting to see, and as we come back to the back straight now, everyone's going to have that DRS, so I think he does have that straight line speed more than anything.
Oh, and boring going around the outside of Kevin. Cal, sorry to interrupt you here, James. Good battle here between these two. Tommy in this fight as well. As Viperice says in the comments, he has no top speed. So that's not good for the Alpine driver, as he's down in P16 under pressure from NYR in the second Red Bull, who is in P17. The battle for 8th is all the way down to 17th position. That just shows how close this grid really is. And also, James, I'm not sure if you saw this, but because we were focusing on the mid-pack in this battle here, but I noticed out of the corner of my eye that Waitsy spun. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think he's not happy with the setup, because it is in Sector 2, and that those corners can be a bit tricky unless he just got a little bit loose on the curves. But I'm not 100% sure, but that's going to put him down a little bit more. But B-Tom getting ahead of Vacant now. And
oh no! Oh, big crash. Hold on, there's a big crash there. Viperize and Xiaomi crashing out. What happened? Safety car has been called out on track. Whoa, that was a big crash. What happened there?
I did not see that. TCR Racer looks to be involved with that, and Acid Masters looks to have lost his front wing a little bit. And maybe Vacant? No, Vacant hasn't. Don't know what's happened there.
Yeah, that was very odd. Viperize and Xiaomi out of this race in the same incident there. Safety car's now been called out on track. Viperize says, but B-Tom spun, and then I came around the corner, and a car was waiting for me. Oh, and the car didn't ghost. So B-Tom, oh, I see what happened. So it sounds like B-Tom, he spun the car, and then everybody piled into them, and the car didn't ghost. That's not good. I wonder if that's a game issue?
I would say that might be due to a game issue or something else, but on that corner, going around that speed, I don't think you're going to have much chance of surviving around that corner. As
for sure.
Everyone almost comes into the pits.
Yeah, this is actually broken, the strategy here, because S. Salmango stayed out. Sohabs and Seville Flair came into the pit lane. B-Tom's up to 9th now. Same with Speed Queen. This is quite interesting. So the Ferraris have chosen to stay out. The McLarens have chosen to stay out. And Ickle Bickle and NYR and B-Tom have decided to stay out. All on the hard compound tires, if I might add. Very interesting. Very interesting to see that. And I'm curious to see what their play on strategy is here. Will SSL Mango and CPI Forzen in that top pack lose out to Sohypes and Sebelflare because they pit? I don't know. What's your thoughts on this, James?
I would presume so. What tires are they both on? Hards. So the top four on hard, so they may, or top 5 actually, they may lose out time if they want to pit, but I think they are sticking it out and staying out on track. So
Interesting.
has gone on the mediums, so maybe the hards can last as long as the mediums can.
I mean, it's possible. I've seen it before in racing, in-game and real life. I could see that the mediums and the hards could be similar tire life. I don't know. I mean, we're about 10 laps into this race, just about to. We have 18 to go. Hards will definitely go to the end of the race. Mediums could definitely go to the end of the race, I think. Actually, I'm reconsidering that. I don't know. See, this is the thing, like... Yeah, what do you think on that?
Might not take it to the end of a race, I'm thinking.
You think so? 18 laps on the medium tires, and because my thoughts is like these drivers, they're in a higher gear during the safety car period, and they're not using up those tires as much, so they're gonna be on like lap 12, so they'll effectively have like 16, maybe 17 laps remaining of the race on the mediums, and usually medium tire life is around 15 to 16 laps, so maybe that's good, but what you're thinking not?
I'm just thinking of the tire degradation, yeah. Just thinking of that, because once you start to get to the end of a race, it's going to be quite harsh on the tires and quite not as good as they once were.
Very interesting.
But we'll have to wait and see.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second. Okay, a few things. We have. Okay, hold on a second. I want to quickly go through a few things because there's a lot of stuff going on my screen right now. So first off, we have I think some support for Kevin Cal from Pacific Racing League. Great to see you guys in the chat. If you guys are unaware, PRL, great league, and I think a bunch of our drivers are PRL drivers, and I think a bunch of drivers in LSR are racing in PRL as well, so great league. Really excited that you guys are in the chat here, so thanks so much for joining us, and great to see some support for Kevin Cal as well. I also wanted to mention that Viperize has kindly sent us footage of the incident. So what it looks like is that B-Tom spun, and 3 cars tried to avoid him. But when they did that, they went onto the grass, spun, made contact, and then Viperize tried to avoid him. And then it sounds like, and it looks like, that they all just kind of spun into the path of each other. So it sounds like it wasn't really anybody's fault, I'd say, racing incident. However, I'm not a steward. That'll have to be done by the stewards team. They will make the decision on that. But it's like, I kind of feel like, what can you do here? It's really hard to define, like, who's at fault kind of thing, as it seems like they were trying to avoid the incident, but then got onto the grass and then eventually spun, and another car came in, and then it seems like it didn't really work out. But that's life. We continue on. Unfortunate to see 2 drivers out of the session, and we hope to see you back in the next one. And I'm sure the stewards will be taking a look at this incident if it is brought up to that. So anyway, I just wanted to let our viewers know exactly what happened there and try and do the best I can to define the incident.
Yeah, it's one of those incidents where one car spins and then people try and get out of the way, and it's no one's main fault, but just a load of, I want to say, a little bit of a mess, but not a mess, if you know what I mean.
For sure, yeah. It's definitely sad to see 2 drivers out of the session, but besides that, there hasn't. It's not like like one driver caused this or anything like that. So hopefully we can continue to have clean racing, and those drivers will move on to the next one in Portugal. And let me just quickly remind you all, Portugal is our first ever sprint weekend. So the return of the Portuguese Grand Prix will be happening next week, and that'll be a fun one, of course. We're not done with China after Group 1, though. We still have our 2 divisions of Group 2 and Group 3 to see who's going to win that. We're expecting a full grid for all 3 tiers, actually, which is incredible. Group 3 just started a few weeks ago, and we were expecting maybe to have like 9 drivers on the grid, and we should be having 20. So that's a surprising but very happy thing to say. So SSL Mango is about to lead us away for the safety car restart. How is this going to go, James? Where do you think he's going to go?
He's going to go now, like right at the corner, I believe. No, he's not. He's going to wait. He's going to go up the line, and away he goes. So here we go. Everyone's back under racing, and we can get underway with the clean, amazing racing. Forzan staying right behind him, as Mango was hoping to get him off his back. Forzan trying to stick a nose up the inside. It's getting very close, but Forzan just not able to make a move just yet.
And Sohype's also trying to make the move on Boring as well. He's actually going to send it down the inside of the McLaren. He's looking for the overtake. Boring gives him the space. Sohype does get ahead with better traction. Forzan still 2/10 behind Mango. Seems like he's got some pace on those hard compound tires. I'm interested to see what he can do with this. Meanwhile, Waitsy gets past NYR. So the Alfa Romeo moves into P15 now.
Solheim's getting past Icklebickle already, and I think Sevenflare making a move on your Boring. So Sevenflare showing his early pace already on the medium tyres, making up one position already, and making a move on Icklebickle. He's going to send it down the inside. He might even get from Aston Martin. Mango spun it.
Oh no! The race leader has spun! That's not good for SSL Mango. Is he to come into the pit lane? Let's find out. No, he stays out on track. CPI Forza now leads us away. Sevenflare and Icklebickle swap positions there, so Sevenflare and Sohypes making their way through the field quite fast, but that is incredibly unfortunate for SSL Mango. You said he spun the car?
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but it looked like he had spun or there was contact, because as soon as I saw Sevenflare's on board, there was a Ferrari just in an awkward position on turn 14. I don't know what happened, but yeah, that's sad to see Mango somehow have a spin or a collision there.
Well, he's only lost, let's see, 3 places, right? Like, he's down to 4th now.
Yeah, he's only lost 3 places, and he is... Well, he was the quickest driver on the track before the restart.
Ooh, sorry to interrupt you here, James, but Tom has just gone off the track at turn 8, I believe. So I wonder if that's a spin for the Mercedes driver. It's possible he had a spin. Traction zone is very difficult, of course. Unfortunate to see him off there as Speed Queen and LFR B-Tom side by side, it looks like. Or for a time they were. B-Tom coming back at Speed Queen. Battle continues on here for 8th position. Meanwhile, Sohypes gets ahead of Spin Swords. So the Aston Martin is up into 2nd position now. Speed Queen and B-Tom, no change there. Sevenflare on the back of SSL Mango as well. So not going good for Mango at this particular moment, as the other 2 are now in this fight. I also want to let you know, James, that we have a comment coming in from Pacific Racing League, and they say, what do you guys think of the China circuit overall? What's your thoughts on the Shanghai International Circuit, James?
My thoughts, I have mixed feelings about the track. I hate it, but I love it. I hate driving it because I've never been able to just get in the flow. With some tracks, I get in the flow really quickly, but here it's different. And it's a lot harder. So that's like my thoughts. But what about you? How do you feel about this track?
kind of similar, actually. It's a really hard track to master. I felt like I've been able to get some good races here, though. The thing I don't like about this track is the long traction zones, where it's really hard to control the car. And I feel like I almost want to go back to full traction when I go through like turn 13 and all that. However, I actually really do like the race. I think it's probably because that it hasn't been on the F1 grid for so long, since 2019, I think. And
Yeah.
I just want to see it back, honestly. I do, and I miss it quite a bit because it's the Chinese Grand Prix. China deserves an F1 track, deserves an F1 race, and so we'll see. Hopefully, it returns to the calendars. We see the AlphaTauri side by side. Kevin Cal. Oh, B-Tom, Acid Masters, and Kevin Cal. A little bit of an incident maybe there. I'm not exactly sure. B-Tom, there's a few incidents he's
Mango's going
had.
down as well now. Speed Queen as well, picking up place on Ickle Bickle. Few places here now being taken as Beaton finally gets pie Kevin.
For sure, yeah. SSL Mango falling down the grid, definitely. I think those tires are really affecting his pace at the current moment. Also, want to mention Speed Queen. What a race she having right now. Could be going for her second podium in the league. P6 getting past Ickle Bickle in the Mercedes. And we could see her going up in the battle for the top 3, definitely. And I think Sohypes, he's on the back of CPI Forzan. So Forzan actually could be under pressure from the USA Grand Prix winner. And Sohypes could take the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix at the end of turn 14. What do you think about that?
It's getting very interesting with a battle coming from first all the way down to 6th, and maybe Ickle Bickle might come into this now, but Mango getting closer and closer, just still within 3 turns, DRS activated for everyone, and Sohypes takes the lead of the race before turn 14 even started.
So our prediction is correct. Sohypes now leads the Chinese Grand Prix. Forzan, oh, very close to hitting Sohypes there. He judged it well, though. That was very close to hitting the Aston Martin. But Forzan does dive into the pit lane and makes his first stop of the race. Sohypes now takes the fastest lap as well, showing that he's got the pace. Now 1.8 seconds ahead of the second place driver, which is Spin Swords. Steve Flair in a Ferrari sandwich at the current moment. However, he might be not in that Ferrari sandwich because he's getting very close to Spin Swords and could be making an overtake.
Yeah, this is getting very close, but Mango may even overtake him before he overtakes his teammate. Come back to a comment from Pacific Racing League as well. It's a love-hate relationship. 100% agree with that, because this track, yeah, it's different.
Yeah, for sure. It is, SSL Mango leaves.
Is that a part of his thingy?
Power?
What's it called? The power thing. Could
The-
it do with that? I will check up on that.
I thought it wasn't because he said that, well, I remember him saying that he dealt with the power outage or whatever it was earlier today. But I don't know. I wonder if they randomly turned off his power again. If so, that is just the worst timing for SSL Mango, who is in a shot at grabbing another podium as his teammate comes into the pit lane. Spin Swords into the pits for Scuderia Ferrari. The second Ferrari is into the pits. And hopefully we can get SSL Mango back in the session. But I don't know, James. Are you finding anything on Mango? Did he have the power cut?
He's not said anything just yet, so I'm waiting for a reply. He is online on Discord, so we'll have to wait and see what he says. But I will update you when the time comes.
Perfect. Thank you, James. Yeah, usually, well, I was thinking because if it's a power cut, he would lose internet. So he'd have to go on a 5G network, which would mean that he's either already switched to that or whichever. whichever it is, it's really unfortunate to see SSL Mango leave the session.
Update. He wasn't supposed to have the load shedding, that's what it's called. So he has had the load shedding for some unknown reason.
What? Oh my goodness, that's horrible.
So they have turned it off at the worst time possible.
Oh my goodness, that is just, I don't even know what to say. That is super unfortunate for SSL Mango. I will come back to that in just a second because we have a comment coming in from Pacific Racing League, and they told us great league and great commentating, and yeah, take care. They said. I'm reading. Hold on a second. I'm just reading comments here.
Take care as well, and good luck on your race later today. Hopefully you do well, or everyone. I don't really know the league well, but I'm just watching Mango's AI kind of battle it out with Tom.
Me too, honestly. That's I think you and me can both say that we're both still in shock that this has actually happened. I'm sure Mango is in shock even more because basically what's happened is you're racing on a game and then whoever is in charge of turning off like power or something like that, and I don't know this from experience or anything like that, I'm just kind of guessing here. It's kind of like if you're racing on a game, you're racing in this, and then they basically just say, we'll turn off the power today, why not? And it's kind of like, well, it would be nice if you told us, like that'd be great, so it's I feel so bad for Mango. He was having such a good race, and now this has affected his whole event. 10 laps to go. Will his AI make it to the end of the race? Usually AIs we don't give penalties. We don't give points to the AI if they finish the race. I wonder if there will be a different sort of situation here because of Mango's issue. I don't know. Whatever it may be, we're super sad to see that Mango had that issue, and hopefully he'll be able to come back stronger next time out in Portugal.
Yeah, hopefully, but yeah, he wasn't supposed to have a load shedding, so that's really unfortunate for him. Sad to see, but it's not the greatest.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely not great for him. But meanwhile, while Mango had that thing going on, there's been a lot of changes in the grid as we see TCR F1 Racer and Acid Masters battle it out for what is 8th position at the current moment. Ickle Bickle and Yaboring and Forzen, those guys, and Spin Swords as well, those guys were at the front of the field. Now they're at the back of the field. What's going on here? Did they pit, or are we waiting them to come? Oh, they did pit. Okay.
Yeah, they had pitted, and that's where it put them at. Not the greatest places, considering we did have that safety car, which they could have probably come into the pits then. But it is what it is, and that's racing for you sometimes.
It unfortunately is, and they will come back stronger, later on. We'll see how that all works out. And I am curious to see what's going to happen with like Yaborin and Ickle Bickle, because they were at the front of the field. Will they be able to catch up and get back into point scoring positions? We will see as Forzan, speaking of point scoring positions, he's up in the P9 now, making his way. He's past Acid Masters in the AlphaTauri. He's the reserve for AlphaTauri today, and he's about to try and make that overtake on F1 Racer. F1 Racer, Forzan going very late on the brakes there. You can see he's got a lot more grip compared to F1 Racer. There's DRS down the pit straight, so he should be able to overtake the Williams. Gets a better line, and he's already made the overtake before we reach the start-finish straight line. So CPI Forzan up into 8th position. I think he's targeting at least a 4th position in this race, maybe even a 3rd place. It depends on how his tires go. Who knows? Let's see what Forzan can do.
Well, 4th place is just entering into the Daniel Ricciardo corner. I want to call it that now. So
let's do it.
It's not that far away. So he could possibly get it, and Speed Queen might be a bit too far away now.
It's possible.
Unless unless there's like another safety car or something happens at the front of the pack, it might seem impossible, but we'll have to wait and see.
We will definitely wait and see. I'm sure we'll have an exciting end to this race, and we're already getting exciting action right now, as I want to talk about Speed Queen. She is making some really good impressions in this later phase in this race, challenging now for second position in this race, second behind the Alpine of Sevilleflare. Let's see what she can do in these final 8 laps of the Chinese Grand Prix. Alfa Romeo, there's an Alfa Romeo on the thumbnail for this video, and for all our Chinese Grand Prix videos. And so maybe the Alfa Romeo team have some good luck charms, you know, since they are on the thumbnail. I always think, like, whoever's on the thumbnail is going to have a good race, you know? So maybe this is the day that Alpha get a good race, as we have a few drivers coming in the pit lane. I believe that is Waitsy and Acid Master. So other drivers will move up the grid, and we should see some incline in positions for some drivers.
Nango obviously isn't happy about, but Speed Queen, within a second now, well, as I say that, it dips into the 1 second or out of the 1 second, so it's very, very close between the front two here for now. Sevilleflare isn't really gaining much time on Soul Hypes, but it's coming down slightly in a few corners.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. It's going to be a very, very intense end to this race, as we have a spin. I believe that is Yub Boring in the McLaren. Ickle Bickle gets passed, and so does Waitsy. What happened to Yub Boring?
I went on board, well, I watched Vacant because he had a spin in the final corner as well.
Interesting.
But not a great day for Red Bull.
Really not a good day. NYR and Vacant done in 14th and 17th. Yeah, it's been a pretty difficult day for them, especially considering Bahrain was such a great race. Vacant on the podium. NYR, was he 5th, I think? Maybe something like that?
I think so. I can't exactly remember, but this is definitely a huge blow for the Red Bull drivers. But we have a lot more races to come and a lot more races to do.
For sure, yeah. We still have, what is it, 13 rounds, or... Oh, yeah, Boring spins the car again. Lost it on the exit of the corner there. That is incredibly unfortunate for Yub Boring. He's going to get out of the way of the other cars.
MYR now pits as well.
What's going on with Yub Boring? Oh, NYR's out.
Oh, retired in the pit. I wonder why that would be. But not a great race for Red Bull now, even more. I wonder if Vacant might do the same here.
It's possible.
He's not coming into the pit, so he might not want that DNF next to his name, which I would not love to have.
Meanwhile, Speed Queen is now 4/10 away from Sevilleflare. Speed Queen showing some incredible pace right now in this Alfa Romeo. We're riding on the nose cam right on the ground there, showing how close these drivers get to the ground and how low these cars are. It is very, very incredible to see. As CPI Forzan does get past Kevin Cal. I think we missed that on our screens, but CPI Forzan now into 5th position, 3/10 away from B-Tom, who's on 22-lap Old Hearts. He might be able to get to the end of the race, but I don't know. What do you think, James? Do you think B-Tom can get to the end of the race?
He'll go towards the end of the race. He's in P4. He would only lose about 1 position, probably, just to Forzan. And P5 from, I think he started P7. It's not too bad. It's an alright race for him. And I think he'll be happy with P5 for now.
Yeah, especially considering... Right, exactly. Especially considering what happened to him at the start of the race and in the middle of the race as well. It's just unfortunate, I guess, that that happened, and he's still going to get some great points, it seems like. and hopefully he'll come back stronger next time out in Portugal. We know B-Tom is one of the fastest drivers, maybe even the fastest driver here in LSR. It's been that way at least for the last 2 seasons. The most wins in the league so far, the most championships in the league so far. If you're counting the original name of the league, he has 5 championships, including 2 F1 wins, 2 classic car wins.
At the moment.
Oh,
sorry to cut you out there.
No worries.
But a bit crazy going on here as Speed Queen was looking for a move down the outside of Severfair.
She tried it. Looks like it didn't work out on that particular lap. Maybe this one will be better for the Alfa Romeo driver.
Is she gonna have a look down the outside? No. But whilst this is going on, they are getting they've got a little bit closer to the front ones here.
They have,
which is now 2.5, and the last time I checked was 2.7.
What just happened to B-Tom? Hold up a second. B-Tom going slowly, lost 2 positions there. Did he just have to... I think the AI of Yoboring came out in front of B-Tom, and he was trying to get around it. Maybe he had to go off track to be able to do so. That is incredibly unlucky if that's the case there, and honestly, there's nothing that either driver could have really done. That's the game's fault for that. I wish that, like, James, let me know what you think about this as well, as we are, I want to keep an eye on Speed Queen. I'll put my screen on that. What do you think of the, when you retire in the pit lane, what do you think of the driver, instead of just the AI going out on track and then retiring, it should either retire in the pit lane, or if it is going to go out on track and retire, then retire as a ghost. Like, ghost the car once it... Right, if it ghosts the car.
Something, Severfair having a really bad exit there, sorry. We'll get back to that in a second, but Severfair, very loose on Speed Queen. Look at this.
Ooh.
Down into turn 1, Speed Queen and Severfair getting very close to each other. She's gonna hang it around the outside, but Severfair having the inside will help him. But Speed Queen getting on the traction a little bit better. And I wonder if she's gonna send it down the inside. She's looking for it down the inside on the Ricardo corner. And I think there's contact between the 2 of them. Speed Queen gets the traction so much earlier and makes the move completed, but Severfair not giving up, but then now has to give up. So Speed Queen up into P2.
Really good racing there from the pair of them. Really respectful of each other. I think they did very good to try and avoid contact at turn 6. It's just the nature of the corner, so it seems like they got very close there in terms of the car kind of locking wheels, but it seems like it was all good. But let's see how this goes. Severfair on the back of Speed King. Will he be able to overtake the Alfa Romeo driver? And also, Viprice says, bring on tomorrow to both of us, James, as all 3 of us will be racing in Group 2 here at China. Severfair going for the move down the inside. The Alpine a little late on the brakes, and Speed Queen anticipates that, goes for the move and retakes that. Oh, and Severfair spins the car.
That's really going to help Forza now to be able to close the gap for P3 as the gap now comes down 4.6, 4.5, 4.3. I would say it's about 4 seconds now. So I think that's gained him, what, 5 seconds?
I believe so, yeah. That's good news for Forzan, definitely.
Yeah,
will he be able
to... 5 seconds? Because Speed Queen has gained 5 seconds on Severfair, so...
Yeah, that's, let's see. We have 3 laps to go, so we'll see how that works also. We have a battle for 9th, I believe? Or 8th, sorry, Whitesea and Ickle Bickle.
This could get very interesting. Another Alfa Romeo driver, or reserve.
Yeah, reserve. I believe he is reserving for the Alfa Romeo team. I believe Kingsholm is the current Alfa Romeo driver. He was not able to make the race today. Viper says he's running 0-0 wings tomorrow. Interesting.
That'll be very, very interesting for you, Viperize. I don't know if that's going to work, but we'll see. We'll see you in the lobby and on track.
Just make sure not to spin off to the moon. That's something that you don't want to be doing. But yeah, we will see how that goes, Viperize, and see you tomorrow.
If you go off a banking part.
Oh yes, absolutely. Like that. What is it called? The turn 13 banking up there. Is that what you're talking about, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. You know, like you just go, you take that ramp and just soar it up into the sky. Well, we are approaching the final 2 laps of this Chinese Grand Prix. It has been epic, the perfect show from these drivers, and it's not ending quite yet because Waitsy is looking for that overtake on Ickle Bickle. Can Ickle defend? Meanwhile, B-Tom chasing these guys as well, so could have a 3-way battle for 8th. He also sets the fastest lap of the race. We have Waitsy looking for that move on Ickle. Can he do it? I don't know exactly. Meanwhile, look at Forzan, 1.3 seconds to Sevelflare.
It's getting very, very close now, and I'm watching him at the moment, and he is so much quicker than Sevelflare at the moment. He's got so much more pace in the corners, and the gap is now under a second, 0.7 of a second. He's got DRS. He'll make an easy move down this back straight, I believe.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, this should work out really well for CPI Forzan. This may put him into the lead of the World Championship as well. I'm not exactly sure. Sohypes might still have the lead of the championship, but we'll see. Is Forzan going to go for it? No, he's going to back off. He plays the smart move here. He knows that Sevelflare is struggling with grip, so he's going to use that to his advantage. Sevelflare defending the inside line. Forzan knows not to make the move into 16, though, so he's going to wait for that final pole, and there's contact!
Oh no! Sevelflare's retired from the race. Don't know why. I wonder if that's just due to damage or. Yeah, he has retired on just pure no wheel there. But Sevelflare and CPI are on the final lap as well. That moves Kevin up into P3.
Yeah, that does. That's, well, it might not be P3. Spin Swords might be getting P3 in this race. The Ferrari driver could be getting a 3rd position ahead of Kevin Cal. We'll see how that works out. Super unfortunate for Forzan and Sevelflare. That is bad news. As Sevelflare spun, Forzan collected him. Nothing neither driver could do to really avoid that. Sevelflare got too much on that curb, it seems. I'd assume that's a racing incident, even though the drivers did unfortunately make severe contact there. Sev out of the race, of course. Really unfortunate to see that. There's nothing he could have done, and there's nothing Forzan could have done either, so I wouldn't say that's either driver's fault. But we have the final part of the race to go. Sohypes has won the United States Grand Prix. 1.3 seconds to Speed Queen. She's been catching up. A few more laps, I think she would have got it, but it is going to be Sohypes. Win number 2 in LSR. He comes to the line to win the Chinese Grand Prix. Success for Aston Martin. Speed Queen is in 2nd position. The battle's not over, though. Spin Swords right on the back of Kevin Cal. Let's see. Will there be any moves for 3rd position? No. Kevin Cal comes to the line in his first race for AlphaTauri. Takes P3. Congratulations to him. Spin Swords in 4th, and Forzan just about holds on to P5. It would have been 3rd. Thankfully, he did recover, and he comes home in P5, so still good points. It's just not. It's just. Oh, did I say. Viper, I said. I may have said. Hold up a second. Did I say that Sohypes wins the United States Grand Prix? Yes, I probably did say that. Sohypes wins the Chinese Grand Prix. That's what I meant to say, because I was saying United States Grand Prix beforehand, and I got mixed up. So, Sohypes wins the Chinese Grand Prix. Welcome to the winner, as he takes not just the United States Grand Prix, but the Chinese Grand Prix as well. Sorry for the mispronunciation on the the finish straight there. But So Hypes does take P1 here in China at the Shanghai International Circuit. The first ever winner here in China in LSR is So Hypes. Sevaflare leaves the session. Unfortunate to see him out of this race. A spin on the final lap prevented him from getting points in today's race, unfortunately. But James, what a race, wouldn't you say?
That was amazing. Best race in a very long time for Group 1. Just side-by-side action through pretty much every corner you could find, and that's something you don't see every day here.
Absolutely, yeah. I think this really showed that Group 1 is heading in the right direction, honestly. I'm really impressed with these guys. We made a lot of changes from Bahrain to China here, and the drivers have showed that. So here is your podium celebration. So Hypes wins the Chinese Grand Prix. It is Speed Queen in P2 with Kevin Cal grabbing his first ever podium in Group 1. Congrats to him as well on that. It is win number 2 here in Shanghai for So Hypes. The celebrations are here as Group 1 finishes off an amazing race, an epic one, and really show that these drivers have some serious pace in the top division in lightning speed racing. Wouldn't you say Kevin Cal gets driver of the day, James? He went from 14th to 3rd. That's impressive.
100%. Kevin Cal, to me, Kevin Cal is driver of the day there. From 14 from grid and finishing on the podium. I don't know. I could see why they gave it to TCR Racer, but Kevin Cal did pretty much the exact same thing. But was able to get a podium, so he gets it from me.
I have to agree with that. Definitely a good race from him. And I'm just seeing in the chat as well, B-Tom, definitely an unlucky race for him. He said it himself. He had there was a few incidents that basically involved him, and I got a feeling that it was not his fault at all. So really unfortunate to see. He did still, I think, take 9th, I want to say it is. So still 2 points or something like that. But yeah, really unlucky to see him have that issue. I think not once, but twice. And hopefully he'll come back stronger in Portugal. But gotta say, a lot of great racing today. Really awesome to see that. F1 Racer, also great points for him. Williams weren't looking good at the start of this race and grabbed P6 at the end of the day. So congrats, good points for the British team. But James, do you have any final words before we wrap up this Group 1 race here in China?
Other than that was best race I've seen in a while from Group 1, and that was very, very fun, and hopefully more comes in Portugal next week with Group 1.
Yes, yeah, next week is Portugal, the return of the Portuguese Grand Prix. It was out for Season 3, it is back for Season 4, and we will see these drivers take on the Portimao Circuit, or Algarve International Circuit. Definitely will be an interesting one, of course. But yeah, I have to agree with James. Really good racing today. One of the best, for sure, the best race of Group 1 this season. The first 2 races, it was kind of plagued with either a crash or a game glitch or something like that. It just didn't really work out. And now it finally aligned. We had a great race, and it turned out to be a pretty good showing from Group 1, and really excited to see, and it really just showed that this division is the top division. So well done from everybody today, and I hope to see you all next time out in Portugal. James, we will be back for 2 more races tomorrow, so viewers, tune in for those. We are not done with China at all here in Lightning Speed Racing. Group 1 may be done, but Group 2 and Group 3 will be racing tomorrow. Myself and James and a few of the drivers, I believe, in Group 1 today that we're reserving are racing in Group 2. We expect a full grid for then, and I believe we will have Vacant Haddock on commentary for that division, so can't wait to see Vacant commentating on Group 2. James, are you looking forward to the race tomorrow?
I am very looking forward to it. Hopefully we can do what So Hypes did and win.
Yes, that would be great. Aston Martin taking the win in Group 1 and Group 2. That would be a pretty cool result. And if any of you are unaware, myself and James are teammates at Aston Martin. That's why we're saying we want to win for the Aston team. But yeah, and then Group 3 as well. We should have a full grid for then. James, are you going to be commentating for Group 3 tomorrow after Group 2?
I think so. Yeah, I'll be there.
Perfect. Alrighty. Well, yeah. If we have what's it called? Sorry, I'm getting a call. Yeah. If you're not commentating, I will be commentating. Whoever is commentating on Group 3, we will have the racing, and it should be very much fun. So, viewers, just want to say thank you so much for watching. We will see you tomorrow for the other two divisions, and have a good one. And for all Group 1 drivers, thank you, and we'll see you in Portugal.